Look, thanks guys for having me here today. Jacob, you're taller than me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I feel like everyone else has been talking about how they got the graveyard shift, but I think Sarah and I truly have the graveyard shift today. So if I can maintain your attention and keep your excitement at all things sustainability today, that would be fantastic. So here at AMPC, I've been given the task to talk about our new strategic plan, which is very exciting, and what it does in relation to sustainability. And I think what you'll see is that nearly every aspect of what we've got covered in our strategic plan will relate to sustainability in some way. So to start off, I guess we're looking at having a prosperous and resilient sustainable future for AMPC. That's what our 2025 to 2030 strategic plan is focused on, and that's our catchphrase. So I wanted to start the day just to talk about what our vision is for AMPC and also go into what our purpose is, just as a friendly reminder. So we want to be Australia's red meat processing industry globally recognised, sustainable, innovation and competitive, delivering safe, not only safe, but high quality product to nourish people while driving long-term industry and community prosperity. So we can't do any of these things in isolation. The vision seems simple, but it's actually quite complex, and I think we've heard a lot today, despite the fact Qantas didn't let me get here on time. We've heard a lot today around just how complicated that is, and what we do at AMPC is just a small part of the supply chain to help contribute to that. And so I guess our role at AMPC is to undertake the R&D that will enable the transformative change to create the sustainable creation, empowering our red meat processors, no matter what the size that they may be. We want to take on any emerging industry needs, but also seize any future opportunities. So I guess to do this, we've got three strategic pillars that I'm going to talk about today. We have our industry excellence. I'll focus heavily on that one today. Then we have our innovation and technology leadership. And additionally, our last pillar around growth, global competitiveness. Now, I know the lovely Matt Deegan did touch on these earlier, and I might give a slightly different spin on these today. So industry excellence. I guess for us, we want to build a trusted and transparent community that's industry renowned for integrity, safety and sustainable and innovation. We want to ensure our community expectations and values are not just met. We don't want to just continue with social licence. We talked a lot during our strategy development around social licence, and I know it's a really common term. But I think where we all landed through our consultation period was we wanted to strive more than just a licence to drive a car. We wanted to be excellent in our industry, and we need to develop the R&D to underpin that, to continue to drive that. So to do that, we want to continuously work on our improvement in animal welfare, driving outcomes in a dynamic, future-ready workforce, which I think you heard a little bit about from Lauren this morning, and identify opportunities for more sustainable practices. So that's our ambition. We've got 5 key focus areas for this, which I'm going to talk about. So I guess the first one is around building that community awareness and industry confidence. It's hugely important. This is our base that we need to work from. It's going to be essential for our industry success. So we want to foster the transparency and ethical practices. We want to be proactive in our communication to ensure that we align with not only and strengthen public confidence in what we do. To do this, AMPC is going to focus on our environmental stewardship. Matt mentioned today around his environmental performance reporting, which we've been doing since 1998, sorry. It's a long-term investment that we've done, but it also is a really strong benchmark to show where the industry has come and where we want to get to in the future. We have very clear plans about how we want to get there. We additionally have things around our community engagement. So some of you may or may not have seen our More to Meat campaign. We've got Vanita Chappell in the room who actually started the campaign while she was at AMPC. We've continued it, And again, this is around reinforcing that trust and getting our base with our key stakeholders and the broader community. So whether it's local government, federal government, state governments, whether it's people in the community, it's getting them to understand about what we do and being transparent around the process. We want to create a confident and proud industry, openly sharing our achievements. As I think you would have seen in some of Matt's stats that he showed today, we have a lot to share and a lot to be proud of. So how do we do that better to ensure our long-term success? Sustainability leadership will be core to the business over the next decade and beyond. Red meat processors require support in research and development to exceed sustainability goals that we've set, focusing on emissions and broader resources use, waste management and enhancing the profitability outcomes. Now you heard from Matt earlier too around the opportunities around waste and the circular economy. I think processors play a key role in being able to deliver this to the wider agricultural community, whether it be collaborating with our other RDCs on how we do this and other industries to take what Matt has clearly highlighted. There's lots of opportunity by looking at different waste streams. So for us, I think there's a real opportunity that we have to play and take that lead for industry to move forward. The next one, from all our reports, given I wasn't here on time, covers on some of what Lauren Smith talked about today around building a workforce, a ready workforce for the future. Having a skilled and inclusive workforce is critical for success. To do this, AMPC will continue to invest in our R&D that provides attraction skills. So attracting the right skills. I think you got to see a video of our STEM camps that we've been running. Getting kids in early and understanding that the meat processing sector and for that matter, the agricultural sector, I think we're doing a service for everyone here. There's more to it than what people might think. So you could have an image in your mind about what it is to be involved in the red meat processing sector. But through initiatives like the STEM camps, through initiatives like our careers portals, I think we're just really showing, and if you haven't jumped on, I strongly recommend you go to our website, check out the careers portal. If you've got kids, show them. There's lots of jobs. We need lawyers, we need doctors, we need engineers, and we need slicers, and we need boners, and we need packers. So we've got a diverse range of opportunities to keep employment in our regional communities and drive that economic bonus as well. Retention and upskilling is also important. I think Lauren would have spoken this morning around things like the Innovation Manager program, which we embed within companies across Australia to work with us. It's a two-way street to feed information of what real issues are within our companies and our members that we work with. But additionally, on top of that, it's a conduit for us to feed some of the exciting things that we're doing that companies may not just be ready right now for, but they will be for the future, or they'll know about it for the future. I think some other exciting parts around what we do is promoting that diversity, equity and inclusion. I also led to believe you heard about our neurodiverse program today. We'll continue to invest in initiatives like this into the future. We see it core, again, to maintain our industry excellence. We want to have and foster a dynamic and resilient workforce that will be ready for the challenges that continue to plague us at times. The next focus area is around safety and wellbeing. I think here at AMPC we have been taking an exceptionally proactive approach in this space, looking at how cutting-edge technologies can be implemented side by side with humans. So looking at how we can use shadow robotics, how we can keep people into the workforce longer, but also give them job satisfaction as well. We've got comprehensive training programs. If anyone's around in Brisbane on the 10th and 11th of September, we've got our Innovation Showcase. Come and see some of the stuff we have to offer. The opportunities really are endless. Looking at how we can improve ergonomics for our staff, how we can take a proactive approach to safety and wellbeing initiatives. So the psychosocial hazard work that we talked about earlier today is another initiative that we have taken the lead on for our industry so they can upskill management and upskill their teams to be able to be equipped to handle things like that. It's always easy to see if there's a wet patch on the floor, we can put a sign out and we can say, danger. Psychosocial hazards are the things that we can't see, and they're the things that we do need to be prepared for. We want to be able to foster pride in our workplace too, and be a chosen place that people want to come to work and want to tell people where they work. And last but not least, under our Industry Excellence banner, we have our animal welfare and advancing animal welfare. It's going to be essential to the integrity and community trust. It's a difficult one that we face all the time. We can do the right thing 99% of the time, and still things don't always go according to plan. So we were committed to having that ongoing, continuous improvement in this space. We want to invest in more science and technology. We've got a couple of really exciting projects looking at AI, but there's and in how we can use that to have enhance animal welfare. But there's also the education and training component that we can do. So it's a huge upskill, and when I talked earlier today about our purpose, it is for members of all sizes, and this is something that we do take close to heart. These initiatives enable industry to demonstrate their leadership and align with our societal values. The second pillar I'm not going to touch on too much today, but essentially its focus is to drive our productivity and competitiveness through cutting-edge research and development and adoption of advanced technologies. We tend to refer to this as the shiny stainless steel part of our work that we do, but it is actually more than that. It actually is some of the enabling parts of it that underpins some of the other areas of work that we do. So I'm just going to touch on the key focus areas for this one. So we have tech innovation, so it's developing new technologies for problems that are continuously rising in our industry. The technology adoption and scalability is a big one. So it's always hard to have the technology ready for processes. Everyone has different sizes and different solutions requiring. Not one business is the same. So it's often a challenge to find a technology. There's not a one size fits all. And I guess it's the same on farm as well. So having those scalability solutions for what we do, but then also the work that we do with pilots and how we can scale that up and proof of concept. So it's important. Digital transformation, and the last one is around our process innovation. The next part I wanted to touch on was our global and growth and global competitiveness. So for us, we want to expand our market opportunities and carcass value by aligning with emerging consumer needs and lifting the value of the Australian red meat. Research to expand market access will be critical in strengthening not only our industry and global reputation, but producing that safe, nutritious, quality red meat products that I talked about earlier to maximise our revenue, growth and competitiveness. So really just going to focus on the two areas around market access. So expanding market access opportunities will be key to driving our global success and also meeting nutritional needs. I think we have a huge role to play in, again, telling our story and communicating our story, just how nutrient rich our product is, and there's a real opportunity to work with our other RDCs on this. We do set ourselves apart in terms of being able to effectively produce high quality nutritious product. We'll also be focusing on R&D on biosecurity, food safety and quality, but also the sustainable way to meet global demands. The next part, which is always a challenge, is our cost to operate. So streamlining compliance and industry standards is also really important. It's navigating a complex environment, and it's key to maintaining our market access and reducing the cost to our compliance. So targeted support will help processors address the regulatory challenges efficiently and ensuring that we remain competitive and agile to meet domestic and international markets. And again, this is not something that we do on our own. This is something that we do with key partners, which I'll get on to our enablers soon. The other things that we've talked around is the value opportunities. So Matt talked about how carcasses, how skins and hides have lost their value at the moment. So how else do we increase the value opportunities and bring that in-house to the processors so we can bring it back closer to the producers for economic benefit for the whole supply chain? The other one is also the continual focus on understanding what consumer needs are. So To deliver this, we have 5 key enablers around the industry capacity and capability building, so initiatives such as the Innovation Manager program that I talked about. Science, data and insights is hugely important to everything that we do. We need the science and the data that will underpin and provide the evidence of where we may need to either pivot or target our R&D funds. So we'll use that continuously throughout the next 5 years. Knowledge transfer and adoption. We don't generate impact if we don't have that transfer and adoption. It's a challenge that we all face, and I think it's covered in a number of pillars as well. Growing our investment in innovation. There's a real opportunity for us to think outside the box and how we can continue to grow at what we invest into our industry and different ways of doing it. And finally, but probably most importantly, it is our strategic partnerships and our collaboration that we have, whether it be with our fellow RDCs or whether it be with our industry advocacy bodies. We rely on Australian Meat Processing Industry Council heavily to understand some of the trade deals that we need to be ready for, I suppose, in terms of what research is required, what are the problems that they're seeing, how can we do them more effectively? And on the flip side, when we can see ways of streamlining, what are the barriers going to be to the adoption of that R&D that we're doing there? So we rely heavily on our partnerships. We are very open to new partnerships. So if you want to come and work with AMPC, we're very much open to the co-investment of ideas and concepts. And that's it.